Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. So my name is Essence Janay, and today we are not going to be doing anything out of the ordinary. We're going to still do our makeup and create this beautiful look, which I hope you guys love. But I am going to be using Black owned beauty brands with the inclusion of one brand in specific that I feel has been all inclusive for quite some time. If you guys have seen my haul, then you know what brand I'm talking about. If not, you guys will be up to speed very soon as we get started with the video. But I felt like this type of video was very important for me to do. In a way, it's kind of me having a voice and using my platform to show you guys the different products that I personally own as a Black woman that I do enjoy and like. Now there will be more videos like this to come in the future, but for today I have what I have and used what I used, and I'm very proud of the look that I came up with. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you grab your makeup brushes or your snack, whichever is your preference, and let's get started. So I have you guys nice and close up so we can really focus on the eyeshadow, even though it's probably going to be pretty simple for today, just given the products that we're working with. So I am going to be using a little bit of the Fenty Snap Shadows. She released these a while ago, and I have palettes 1 and 7. This one is number 1. And then this one is number 7, and I have used both and created eye looks using both palettes before on my channel. So if I can remember what videos those are in specific, I'll leave them down below just in case you're interested in seeing how this palette came together as a whole. But I'm going to be using a couple of shadows out of these palettes. But the main palette that I wanted to use is this one from Pat McGrath. This is the Eye Ecstasy Sublime Eyeshadow Palette. And there are 5 different shades in here, all shimmers. So that's why I'm going to be incorporating the Fenty Beauty palette as well, just because I need like a transitional shade or matte shadow to kind of go in the crease. So again, very simple, but hopefully very pretty. So I think what I want to do is go in with the number 1 palette. Honestly, this just has all the neutral tones in here. And I think I'm going to take this shade right here. Now they do have shade names on the back, but I don't have time for that. So I'm just going to grab that shade, which is like a warm tone brown. And I'm going to fluff that in my crease. And then I will take this same brush that I'm using to press the shadow in and then blend it out. But I'm not gonna blend like everywhere because you don't want the shadow to go everywhere, or at least I don't. I just kind of want it to stay in the crease, and if you do go too crazy with your blending, the shadow will definitely go everywhere. So using the same brush, I'm just building up the color and just blending it out as well. I just like to pack it on because I really want that intense color. And I'm gonna build it up out here in the outer corner as well, because we're gonna be placing the shimmer shade kind of like on the inner part of the lid, not on the entire lid. So I wanna make sure I have some definition out here on the end. I'm actually gonna go into the number 7 palette, and I'm gonna take this tan neutral tone shade up here. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna just use this on the outer edge of that other shadow that we just laid down, just to help blend it out a little bit, make it a little bit more seamless, no harsh lines, all that good stuff. So just lightly blend. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of the darker brown right here. This is again, the number 1 palette. So going back to the true neutrals, and I'm just gonna use this shade right in the outer corner. I'm gonna try not to go into the crease necessarily, but just like right below it, and then blend this out. Since this shadow is so intense, I just wanna take a little bit at a time. I kind of went in a little heavy-handed on this first go around, but I'm just gonna work on kind of blending it out and distributing this color on this outer corner. So now we're gonna prep for the glitter shade or shimmer shade, and I think I want to cut the crease a little bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use a little bit of concealer to do that. gonna take this flat brush. This is actually from Lavish, and this is their eye shading brush. So I'm just gonna take this to kind of cut the crease. So now that the crease is nice and cut, I'm gonna go into the Pat McGrath palette, and I think I want to take, I'm gonna take this like, I think I'm gonna take this one right here. It's like a reddish gold kind of metallic shade. It looks very red on camera, but in person it kind of has like a brown reflect to it when you look at it from a certain angle. It's very intriguing. So we're gonna take that shadow that is number, okay, I think that's number 5, called Corruption. So we're gonna take that on the same flat brush, just the opposite side of the concealer. So we're gonna try just no spray first. Well, that's very pretty. Very like red though, but pretty. So I'm gonna take this, I'm actually gonna get a smaller mirror and just press this right on top of that concealer that we laid down. So I think for the sake of playing with more shimmers from the Pat McGrath palette, I want to actually now go into the gold one right above it, this one right here, and I believe that one is called Gold Nectar. So we're going to take this one and we're going to pop that on the side of the shimmer shadow, but still leaving room for that outer corner color. So now that we have the gold shimmer applied, I'm gonna go back into the dark brown that we were using, and I'm gonna place it on the outer corner and just really re-intensify it, and also mix in the shimmer shade on the lid so everything just looks nice and seamless. Actually going to use a clean blending brush to blend this out over here. So I think that looks pretty good. It'll definitely look better once we have like some lashes on, of course. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other eye off camera, then I'll zoom you guys out and we can work on the base makeup. Now that I've zoomed you guys back out, I went ahead and finished the other eye off camera, as I said. And I also applied my primer. I was not able to get my hands on the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Primer, which I really want to try, but unfortunately it was sold out at my Sephora, so I just used something that I had in my collection already, popped that on. It's been sitting for a little while, so we're ready to go with the foundation. Now for foundation, I am going to be using this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation, and mine is in the shade 320. I did, however, mix a little bit of the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. I am just like really obsessed with this foundation. This one is in Medium Dark 1 Syracuse. This has kind of like an orange undertone to it, so I'm hoping that mixing in a little bit of the NARS foundation will kind of combat the orangey undertone, so we will see. I'm just gonna apply this with my finger, and then I will go in with my sponge. So I'm just taking a beauty blender, and then I'm gonna start tapping this in. I think that worked out pretty well. Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well mixing the two. We will see how it wears on the skin, of course, because like I said, I've never done this before, mixing these two, but this just might be my new favorite, like combo. Now that we have our base laid, I am gonna hop into concealer. I do own the Fenty Beauty concealer, but mine is in the shade 350, and that's way darker than the foundation, so I'm not gonna use the concealer today. Instead, I'm gonna use the NARS concealer. This is their Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Medium 3 Praline. So this is the little one, this is the bigger one that I bought. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the little one just because I still have more product in here, and of course I wanna use this up. So what I've been doing lately, I believe I explained this before, but I just like to drag it on the sides of my nose like this all the way down. And then I'll put a little bit over here on the outer part of my eye. I also take just the smallest amount on my nose. I try to be as straight as possible. And then of course, my forehead and my chin, because you can't forget that. And then whatever I have left as I blend this out, I'll just add it right here. And then to blend it out, I do continue to use the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. I just think this brush is perfect for this, and it just blends it out nice and flawlessly. So with a light hand, I just, you know, blend in circular motions. So as you guys can see, I have not touched my under eyes yet, and that's just because I like to let the concealer sit a little bit longer than usual underneath my eyes. Especially this NARS concealer, I find is really good at letting it sit just a little bit and then blending it out. It makes it a little bit more tackier and a bit more fuller like coverage, so you have better coverage underneath your eyes instead of just putting it on and then blending it out right away. So I like to let it sit a little bit, and then as I'm blending my under eye, I do take like a paper towel or something and just kind of use that to clean off my brush, so the extra product that I'm picking up when I'm blending out, I'm just getting rid of, instead of, you know, using it on your face, because you really don't need a lot of product. So now that it's nice and blended out, sometimes I like to take my beauty blender and just tap over it just to make sure, you know, that everything is just nice and blended, and then any additional product that's still left on the skin that hasn't been blended in can be nicely pressed in. And it's just kind of like extra reassurance that everything's nice and set. So I guess you can say this is like an extra step that isn't necessary to some, but to me, I find it very necessary, and you know, the outcome of it to me is worth it. So you don't have to do all of this, but I like to do it. So now that everything is nice and blended with the power of editing, cream contour is now done. Now, the reason why I did it that way is because I wanted, again, to get the Fenty Beauty cream bronzer that she came out with. However, I was not able to get my hands on that. They were completely wiped out at my Sephora. When I first initially went, because I went multiple times, they didn't have it at all. Then when they did have it, it was like all gone. And that brings me to our next product, which is this Fenty Beauty Cream Blush. Now, this blush is very pink, but it's also the only cream blush that they had in stock. All the other shades were sold out, and I was like, you know what, I really want to give this formula a try, so I went ahead and picked this bright pink one up anyways. So we are going to use very little of this, but we're going to use it nonetheless. So before we go ahead and set down our, you know, creams with powder, I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of this. I'm actually really liking this blush. It's not as bright as it is in the pan, so that could be a little intimidating, but it's not as bright, you know. When you put it on your skin, it definitely looks more natural and more just like a nice flush of color. I feel like I'm getting more and more into cream products. As an oily combination skin type, I always thought that I had to stay away from like the cream products and just use very mattifying products, but I'm slowly but surely learning that is definitely not the case. So I'm really loving me some cream products. But now that we're done with that, we're gonna move on to setting all of our creams down. I'm gonna start with setting my T-zone in my under eyes where I applied the concealer, and I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty setting powder. This is in the shade Butter. I did have cashew a while back, like a long time ago, but I found that I'm not too crazy about cashew. I feel like it's a little bit dark, like it makes my under eyes darker than, you know, what I want it to be. So I did not get rid of it, but I gave it away. And I purchased this little mini one just because, again, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like butter or not, but I really do like it. So once I use up all of this little mini one, I'll probably go ahead and get a bigger, you know, like full-size version of this powder. Now, this is not something that everybody's gonna love just because it's very mattifying. But if you set your face with setting spray, then you're fine. But it's very drying if you do not set your face. Now, because we're not necessarily using any other powder to like set down, like as far as like loose powder or face powder, I am gonna take a little bit of this Fenty Beauty powder and just use it right here, right underneath my contour, because I just want to mattify that area a little bit, not too much. And then we will use the bronzers and stuff, bronzer and blush, you know, to set kind of like this area. So all the cream products will be set, just not my usual way of setting my face, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on bronzer now. And of course, I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker bronzer. This one is in the shade Island Ting. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of this just to bronze up my cheeks, of course. So I'm gonna tap into that very generously and then use this. This, I will have to say, this bronzer hasn't always been like my ultimate favorite bronzer. It's definitely not my go-to, but I do like the formula of it, and it's not a terrible shade. It's just not my favorite, to say the least, but I don't hate it. So we're just gonna use a little bit of this because a little bit does go a long way. You could build it up if you wanted to and just add more like color, you know, to your face, but I did lay down that cream contour shade, so this is just helping to re-intensify what I previously put down. For blush, I'm gonna go ahead and use this NARS Orgasm. This is just a little mini that I got for like my birthday or something. I think I have like the little mini gloss that goes with it, but I feel like this is the perfect shade to top that Fenty one just because it was so pink in the pan. So it's more of like a pink blush, and I really do love this NARS Orgasm one just for a nice flush of pink color. It's also not too intense. I mean, you could build it up if you wanted to, but I like how it looks with just a little bit. And it also has a little bit of glow in it too, so that also helps as well. So for highlighter, I do have a new one. This is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo in Afternoon Snack in Mo Money. And I think these are very, very beautiful and stunning. I love me like a golden highlight, and this definitely does it for me. And I'm gonna take Mo Money first and just pop that on the center of my face. And then I wanna take a little bit of Afternoon Snack, which is not as golden, and I'm gonna pop this right here. See that? That's very, very pretty. So just like the high parts of my face. I used to, before when I used to highlight, I used to like put it all right here, but honestly, you just need to concentrate it in this little V almost. And like, that's the perfect spot. So now we're gonna finally set our face. If I was doing my normal makeup routine, I would have definitely sprayed my face down 1,000 times already before we got to this point. But I only have one setting spray, and this is the Baby What It Do mini version of the setting spray. Now this is a product that I've been trying to get my hands on for a long time as well. As you guys can tell throughout the video, there are a lot of products, especially from Fenty, that I've been trying to like get, but I can't. They're not in store. I thought this was something that was only sold online, but I saw this the other day when I made a trip to Sephora that had nothing to do with makeup, and I was like, I had to get this for the video because I've been wanting to try it. So this is supposed to be like a dewy kind of setting mist. So let's see. Oh, that's very, 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 very fine. Wow. The mist on this is amazing. Like, what the hell? I'm sorry, what the heck? It feels like air. Like it's so micro and fine and just smooth and just, I'm obsessed. And I use quite a lot. The mist on this is insane. And the way that it set my makeup down and the way that my makeup looks, I'm obsessed. Like really, really obsessed. This, she did something with this. If y'all don't try anything else out of this video, try this. Even if you have oily skin, try it. I mean, I don't know how it wears or anything. Let me not jump ahead of myself, but I'm obsessed with the way that it just laid my makeup. And it's not too oily, you know? Like, It gives you a nice glow, but it's not too much, and it don't feel like anything on your skin. Like, I'm obsessed. So real quickly before we do the lips, I want to add a little bit of inner corner pop. I also want to finish out the bottom lash line. So for the inner corner, I'm gonna go ahead and just take I'm debating whether I should just put the same shimmer that I have on the inner part, or if I should just go in with the gold, or maybe try a new one. Let's do the green. Let's do the green. Let's be different. So I'm gonna pop a little bit of that on the inner part of my lid, just for like a nice little pop. It does something. It's a little something, but it's cute. I like it. Gives it a little bit more dimension. I like that. So now I'm gonna finish out the bottom lash line really quickly. You guys have seen me do this 1,000 times, so I'll just speed this part up just because it's pretty repetitive. Just taking the same shades at the top, moving them down to the bottom, nothing fancy. I might take like 1 or 2 of these shimmer shadows and bring it down, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm just gonna work with the mattes first. We'll see how this goes. So for the sake of not wanting to do too much on my lower lash line and just ruin this look altogether, I think I'm just going to take the safe route and not apply any like glitter on the lower lash line. Although the vision in my head, it does look very nice. Maybe I'll try it another time, but today we're just gonna leave it as is, just because I'm very happy with the way the makeup has turned out this far, and I don't want to ruin it by doing that one little thing. So we're just gonna keep it as is. I'm gonna apply a little bit of lower lash line liner. I don't know why I couldn't think of the name of that, but we're gonna apply some liner. This isn't black owned or anything, so I'm just gonna do it really quickly and then apply some lashes, and then we can come back and do the lip, because I do have more than one option, and I'm kind of leaning towards the gloss, but we will see when everything else is kind of put together. So we're gonna save the lip for last. I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm gonna apply this, my lashes, and I'll be right back. So now that the lashes are applied, I am going to finish out with my lip choice. I do have 2 different options. I have like a clear gloss option, which I'm leaning towards completely, but I do want to try the new sheer lipstick that she came out with on camera for you guys. So this is in number 4, Make Out Break, and it's just a nude, of course. If you've seen my haul, you've seen this already. So that's what this lipstick is, and I'm just going to apply a fair amount on my lips. As you guys can see, it has a little bit of pigment, but not too much, and that's what I love about it. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. So I do think this actually fairly does look nice. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on, and it's very, very, like, I was gonna say slimy, but that's not the word. Like, it goes on very smoothly, I should say. She does have a clear one of that. I'm not really sure how that works. I'm pretty sure it's just a nice, like, clear sheen to go on your lips. But I am gonna top it off with the Fenty Beauty Pro Kisser in Hint Hint, which is the only shade she has. And it's just a nice, clear kind of gloss. And I believe she made this to go on top of your lips after you, like, exfoliate with her lip exfoliator. But I like the gloss. All right, beauties, so this here is the finished and final look. I really love it, honestly. I think everything came out and worked together very, very well, and I'm just really, really pleased with the overall makeup look. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Also, let me know what your favorite product from today's video was. Although majority of these products I've had in my collection for a while, and some of them you've seen me use time and time again on my channel, but the one thing that I really want to touch on that was new to me today is this Fenty Beauty setting spray. I'm just really, really obsessed with this. I feel like it just melted my makeup down just perfectly, gave me the right amount of glow without being too glowy, because sometimes I feel like dewy setting sprays are just a little too dewy for my skin tone. or my skin type, I should say. And without even having it on for what, 5-10 minutes, my face is instantly very, very oily. But I don't know how she formulated this little product right here, but I feel like it's perfect. It's great for people with dry skin, but it's also really beneficial to those with oily combination skin as well. So I will definitely continue to use this, and I am going to purchase a full-size bottle because this is a must in my makeup collection. So this will definitely be transferred over to my everyday makeup. It's definitely going to be implemented a lot more. You will see it a lot more because I am that obsessed. So if there's nothing else, make sure you go pick up that Fenty setting spray because it is bomb.com. So that is all from me for today. I'm just gonna go ahead and close out today's video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you're enjoying this new content, or not really new because I'm still kind of doing the same things I was doing before, but I'm trying to perfect it. So let me know your comments on that or thoughts on that down below in the comment section. But other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, taking the right precautions when going outside, and I will see you guys super, super soon in the next one. I love you guys.